guys, welcome to Bedroom Studio Corner. I am XD. Welcome back to the channel. Now today in this video I'm going to be making some Afrotech. I haven't done a cook-up video in a while now, so I thought I would start by doing some Afrotech because I haven't been doing so much of those videos lately. And I'm going to show you a technique that I use most of the time by using percussion to kind of guide me into kind of a rhythm or a melody, if you will. And I haven't practiced anything. This is just going to be on the fly. I have no idea in my head that I think I'm going to make or how it's going to come out like. So it's just going to be on the fly. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe before we get anywhere. Leave a like down below. Let's get into it. Okay, so firstly, I'm going to add like a kick. I'm right here in the packs folder of FL Studio in the drums more audio folder. So I'm going to use this attack kick 4. Drop that there at 4 steps. Let me lower my tempo to maybe 123. Okay, that's cool. So I'm just going to add 4 bars here on the arrangement section just to keep that there because I like to compose like in 4 bars. So that'll be kind of my measure of how the song progresses. So I got that there. Now let's go to percussion. Now another tip is the sound that you hear here on the browser, you can actually assign it to a track so that you can control its loudness, because sometimes it's very loud, sometimes it's very weak depending on what you're doing, but I like to control it. You can come here to options right here on audio, and then here down here you'll see preview mix a track. So I've assigned this to 20, but you can assign this to any track that you want, and when you play it back, I've got 20, you can see it's previewing on this channel here. So then I can just lower this down. Now it's softer. Now you don't have to irritate your ears through the samples that you'll be going through because some of them are very loud. So just doing that will help you. Now let's play back that kick. There's a lot of nice sounds in this fold of FL Studio. I like that. Kind of has a phaser type of thing going on there. The key here is to layer a lot of sounds together and kind of make a rhythm through percussion, because most of these percussions kind of have a tune and kind of have different keys. So if you find percussion that's in the same key and that can fit in nicely to the rhythm that you're making, you'll figure out you can actually finish a track without even touching the piano roll, but just using the rhythms in this percussion. That's why it's so powerful. That's why this technique works most of the time when you're trying to make Afro and you're trying to have that organic, nice Afro vibe. Let's add some hats. Okay, now I think that's enough of our rhythm over here. Now let's see if we can add a nice sound to accompany this. Usually I would start with kind of a drone note, but for this instance I'm going to start with maybe something really interesting to start with. I'm going to use this Zeta, and I'm going to check in the factory content for some keyboards. I'm just see what sound is good here. Not this hammer, ice crystals. Whoa. Really atmospheric. Now I just need to find the key that this whole percussion sound is going on, so that it can lead me into the key I'm gonna play whatever instrument I'm gonna add after this percussion. Look for a pad rather. Okay, there's the note. That sounds kind of right, so I'll just put that there on the 4 bars. If we transpose it down, I feel like that bongo drum is the one that's leading this whole sound into a key. This one here. So what I can do is I can actually come here to this wrench and change the key here. Just raise the pitch a bit. Much better. Let me add some Gladiator into the mix. Look for another pad. Okay, now I can quantize that. That's Alt Q. Then you get this quantize and just click accept. Nope. Let me add another gladiator over here. Let's look for something that is fast, maybe in the synth folder. Something really, really fast. Sounds okay. Let me lift that, put it on its own pattern, place that there. So maybe change that sound though, it's not really doing it for me. Much better. Okay, now let's work on some bass. Now what I'm gonna add is maybe Zebra 2, and then I'm gonna look for maybe a nice bass sound if I can actually find one. Let's say bass 1. Add some keys into the mix, but what I'm going to do to these keys is that I'm going to load them to a track and load like a big reverb on them. I'm going to use a Fruity Convolver for this, just to give it a nice feel to it that's just really big and atmospheric. Okay, so now I can record this piano sound and see how that's going to sound. Okay, I got it on notes, quantize. Let me switch off this quantize over here. There we go. There we go. Now we'll quantize that. Let me give these keys more reverb. Now lastly, I'm just gonna add a pad to this and then it's done, because I feel just a nice ambient pad that can just move with this other sound that we started off with here. Let's say a plugin like maybe Electra X. There's some nice pads in here. I can go to the dance pad. Okay, let's see what you can get. Nope. It's a prayer now. Let's see stadium strings. There we go. Now I'm just gonna copy this pattern and copy it there. let's look for Atmo pad. Okay, that's moving too much. Let's try something else. In my dreams. What you got? This sounds sick as it is. I can just duplicate that, turn it into 16 bars. Usually, a quick tip that I would want to give you right now in terms of arrangement that can work for you if you want to arrange quick is you can maybe duplicate that 4 bars and turn it into 16. And then what you can do is you can actually, let's say, copy this whole 16, copy it over many times, and then check your time. Now you see here I'm like at 6 minutes. I can just copy again, and then I'm almost at 7 minutes. Then you now know that all your tracks are right there up to 7 minutes. So that's the duration of your song and how you want your song to be. So now what you can do now is you can come back and then start marking your 16 bars. Like I can remove everything over here up until 16. That's over there. Let me just bring that back up until here, because a rule of thumb that's good when you want to change instruments is to change them every 16 bars if you can. If you don't want to do that, then that's up to you. You can do, you know, a lot longer than that. But let's say if I do that and I make it longer, so I know every time my beat changes at the same time. So now you can expect when my track is going to change, unless, you know, if I make it so that it doesn't change at that time. So now this is where the intro is. But if I check my intro, you can see it's by 1 minute. Right there, it's by 1 minute. So now I know the intervals where my track is going to change. So now I can just remove all of this up till here, and then I know that's when my track is going to change. And then I can remove all of this again up until there, and I can remove all of this up until there. So now I know that my track is moving in steps and it's changing in the same duration of time that I've arranged it. So that's a way you can actually arrange your track by. And then I can just do that, and then I can just kind of design it like that. So now you can see that my track is kind of going down and coming up, kind of like an opposite of a pyramid. Then maybe here at the end I can just put the kick back in this long. There we go. Maybe just like that. So that's kind of the duration that I can add. So now you know that every time right here around 30 bars, that's when you can now change your stuff on. But now changing the instruments and changing your stuff is gonna now rely on you, whether you just want it to come in or you want to do automation. If you're gonna do automation and you want this instrument here or this pattern here to start there, you're gonna have to maybe put it on the whole way and then come over here and then maybe do an automation, create an automation clip, and then you know where you want your instrument to start. Then you can just click there and then just pull that down and make sure that it's gonna rise up slowly as the track is going, and then build up, and then really start playing at full volume when it gets to that point that you would have, you know, assigned it to start playing. But this is kind of a guide to show you how you can actually do this and kind of arrange your style. Now if you want to break here on this part, you can just remove the drums over here, like for the rest of this duration, and maybe take out the bass So that's actually a quick way to arrange your track instead of having to now draw in every block and put in every block up until 8 minutes or 7 minutes, whatever you want. So I usually do this just as a skeleton type of an arrangement before I now get in deep and start to add my parts as I'm listening to it. So I hope this helps you. I hope this will be a good thing, because a lot of people ask me how to arrange, when they must change instruments and all that, but you can just use the 16 bar rule if you want to. That will work. That usually works for me. Or you can double that and that still works. It's all up to your preference and when you would like instruments to change. So I hope this video was very helpful and I hope you like it. If you did, leave a like down below. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and join us. We have a great community that we have here. I'm gonna check you guys out in my next video. I am X and I'm out. Peace.